Welcome to another edition of GCN's Racing Show with news and results from the Pro Peloton, including transfers, the Tour of Hainan, more cyclocross, the 2019 Tour de France route. But firstly though, Wiggins and Armstrong. Bradley Wiggins is set to publish a book this week detailing 21 of his cycling icons, one of whom is Lance Armstrong. Now, Wiggins has been quoted in the press as saying that Lance is the perfect winner of the Tour de France, a position he justifies by saying that he embodies the ideals of the founder of the Tour de France. That is, a super athlete who could overcome everyone and everything. Well, I mean, he did, but at what cost? You can kind of see Wiggins' logic, but a lot has changed since the 19th century. And furthermore, Desgrange, the founder, was a stickler for the rules, remember? Going so far as disqualifying Eugene Christophe in 1919 for outside assistance, which amounted to someone pumping the bellows whilst he re-welded his own forks during the race. So, one might think that Desgrange wouldn't look too kindly on, well, much of the 90s peloton, Lance included. But what do you think though? Has Wiggins got a point? Let us know in the comments section whilst we crack on with the rest of the news. The route of the 2019 Tour de France was announced last week and it looks like one for the climbers. 3 summit finishes at over 2,000 metres bring an ability to cope with altitude into the mix of necessary skills required by the contenders. The route also has a record number of classified mountains, although with more tricky Cat 2s and Cat 1s than the biggest all category ascents. Fewer kilometres of time trials, although there are 2 short individual ones, and a short team time trial complete the mix. So it looks like the organisers ASO have done what they can to create an unpredictable race, something clearly high on their agenda, as race director Christian Prudhomme even reaffirmed his call for a ban on power meters. Unfortunately, it's out of his hands, but his voice does now lead a sizable chorus, ourselves here at GCN included. Now, what is undeniably upsetting though about ASO's announcements is that La Course, the women's race they host, remains just one day. This time it takes place on the same course as the 27-kilometre men's individual time trial, only with 5 laps instead of 1. Now, given the success of La Course over the years, particularly last year, you do have to wonder why this is the case. Now, if you've been watching our live coverage of this year's Tour of Hainan over on Facebook, then you will know that it has proven to be a strong showing for Italian riders so far, with 5 of the first 7 stages being shared out amongst Jakob Mareczko, Manuel Belletti, Andrea Guardini and Marco Benfatto. However, the general classification is still an extremely close affair, with less than a minute encompassing the top 21 riders ahead of the final 2 stages. Now, additionally, one of the most interesting observations from that race is that of prize money. A total pot of $350,000 is a significant opportunity for teams to target this time of the season, and you'd have thought should be a nice boost going into the off-season. Now, staying with road racing, it looks as if change is afoot among the ranks of Team Sunweb, as last week saw further departures in the way of coaches Morten Benecu and Adrian Helmantel. This follows in the wake of Edward Turns terminating his contract early, Simon Geschke ending his 10-year association with the team, and Grand Tour veteran Laurens ten Dam moving onwards as well. So could so much change prove detrimental for the ambitions of team leader Tom Dumoulin, especially with the Tour de France course looking less appealing with each glance of the parcours? In a world of high-profile, high-value signings, team structure is often overlooked as one of the keys of success, so hopefully this doesn't rock the boat too much for them. Perhaps the biggest transfer of last week was the departure of Fernando Gaviria from Quick-Step Floors, the Colombian choosing to end his contract a year early in order to make the move to Team UAE Emirates. Another coup for them came this week as well by securing the prize signature of 20-year-old Belgian rider Jasper Philipsen, who's finally been bagged by a team after much interest from the top ranks. He is undeniably an exciting talent who's previously finished runner-up at the Under-23 Tour of Flanders, 4th at the Under-23 Paris-Roubaix, and secured stage wins at the Under-23 Giro d'Italia. He is, of course, another graduate of the Axel Hagens-Berman squad, overseen by former professional Axel Merckx, and he's sure to be one to follow as he joins the ranks of the World Tour. Now, whilst in the process of recovering from Epstein-Barr virus, Mark Cavendish has announced that he's chosen to extend his contract with Team Dimension Data, as has his longtime lieutenant Bernie Eisel, who's been tasked with helping to bring through the next generation of riders. In the world of cyclocross at the weekend, we witnessed another dominant performance by Mathieu van der Poel to secure his third victory of the 2018 Super Prestige Series, beating arch-rival Wout van Aert into second place, once again after forcing a gap early on. Tournettes followed home in third place on the day, and in the women's race, Marianne Vos returned to the top spot with a polished performance, executing her attack perfectly to beat runners-up Annemarie Verst and Kim van der Steen. The weekend also saw the first round of the Pseudo Classics, raising the curtain upon the 5-race series at Neerpelt with a thrilling contest which proved to be an unpredictable affair in the men's race for once. A group of favourites emerged at the front, and when Van Toornout caused a gap to emerge amongst the group, Laurens Sweeck did not hesitate to take advantage. Having accelerated hard to cement his gap, he did not let up for the rest of the race, his strong showing securing him top spot by 13 seconds, his third consecutive Neerpelt victory. In the women's race, Denise Betzemer took the victory from Celine Alvaredo and Laura Verdonschot in third. Now, something which has had plenty of us debating the answer to is this insightful thread from Daniel Freeb last week on Twitter. He said the last 10 years has seen a relatively consistent number of riders racing for over 14,000 kilometres at UCI Point One ranked races per season. However, that's changing. This season concluded with only a single rider having achieved it, that breakaway specialist Alessandro De Marchi. A result of larger teams, perhaps training programs, or just a freak event? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section down below. Right, that is all for this week. Do make sure you stay tuned to our Facebook page for live racing. We've got more cyclocross and also the Saitama Criterium to round out the road season. For another video now though, why not take a lesson from Emma in how to test your bike or your position scientifically? We're taking notes as well.